Welcome to One Round. I'm your host, Darrell Dawsey. She made history this past November by becoming the first Latina councilwoman in the history of the city of Detroit. She represents District 6. She is Raquel Castaneda-Lopez, and she's joining us here on One Round to talk about city politics and whatever else we can get into. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being out here. So let's just jump off into it, all right?
Okay.
First of all, I do think that your campaign and your election does have a level of historicity to it. I don't think that Latinos here in the city of Detroit have been very well represented at the table. Just wondering kind of what you think about, the history of Latino representation here in the city and how, your election affects that.
Sure. I think the district I represent is more than just the Latino community. So for me, I guess the historic nature of it really has to do with Southwest as a whole, which has historically been an immigrant community, finally having representation on city council. And some of the most disenfranchised communities in the city having a voice. So Del Rey, which isn't necessarily Latino, but a community that often is overlooked, finally has a voice at the table, as well as the Fort Schaefer area, as well as Joy Road, West Chicago area, which is considered one of the most dangerous zip codes in the country. They all finally have a voice at the table at City Council.
And what is it that you aim to do for those?
Sure. So I walked my entire district twice. So I visited about 15,000 houses during my campaign, and it really gives you a sense of everything that's happening at the ground level. And so my hope is really to help improve the quality of life of all constituents, all my residents in District 6. One way is via a mobile office that's going to go out neighborhood to neighborhood, helping connect people to information and resources. But also really pushing forth policies that address basic quality of life issues as well.
Now, this is your first time on the council, and you come in, and it's already been a little bit of excitement, and we've had a little bit of color, particularly regarding one of your council colleagues, George Cushingberry. Just wondering, kind of, what you think. Do you think that a lot of the news surrounding him has really been news? Do you think that it's been a distraction? What do you think about him just being on the council? Do you need him? Do you think he's got a valuable role, or is he just kind of, become somebody who's an albatross?
I think everyone brings something to the table. Everyone has a unique perspective, and all of my colleagues are really focused on doing what's in the best interest of their residents as well as the city as a whole. So I think sometimes the media blows things out of proportion and focuses on the negative versus the positive.
Was it right for him to sick the cops on the report?
I can't pass judgment on what he's done. I think it's under investigation, and that process is going to come out. And so if what he did was illegal, then he'll be held accountable, but I can't speak to that.
Okay, well, I'll speak to it. I think it was horrible. It's a violation of the U.S. Constitution. That's not what we do in America. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
You guys are set to vote tomorrow on the land transfer around the entertainment complex, 45 blocks going up here in the city of Detroit. Some of it, I believe, overlaps into your district, also Mary Sheffield.
The majority falls into District 6. About 90% of the project will fall in District 6.
Now, a lot of people have complained. You've had some folks in the community who say it's nothing but corporate welfare, that Mike Ilitch doesn't need. The city, I think we're giving like $250 million, to building this complex. Ilitch doesn't need this money. He's essentially, getting over on public money. How do you feel about the complex and about some of the complaints and concerns that have been raised?
Sure. So what my office did was kind of just jump straight into it, and we've held several community meetings regarding community benefits around the land transfer agreement. And so unfortunately, my office, I'm a little bit late to the game. A lot of these conversations and negotiations happened last year or even prior to. And so we tried to do as much as we could in the 3 or 4 weeks time frame that we had.
Are you going to vote for it?
I can't tell you how I'm voting tomorrow. Can't tell you yet.
We're trying to make a little bit of news ahead of time.
I can't tell you how I'm going to vote.
Well, listen, Raquel, thank you so very much. We appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I know you're a busy woman. Great to have you.
Nice to meet you. Wasn't shaking your hand.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk to our audience. This is Darrell Dawsey. This has been One Round. Thank you so much for being here.